for love.
So I have this tie-dye shirt that I want to redo. So I'm going to bleach it and then roll it up and dye it. Then roll it up again the opposite way and bleach it. Then roll it up again and then dye it. Then roll it up again and bleach it. Then roll up again and dye it. And yeah. I also have this shirt that I want to change. So I'm going to also bleach that. And then get a bunch of shaving cream. And then put a bunch of dye in that shaving cream. Mix it up to get this nice marbled effect. And then just one more. I'm going to bleach it again. Tie it up. Put some ice on it. Put a bunch of powdered dye on it. Let it melt. To see what happens. Whew, what an intro. Sponsored by Squarespace. So you have an old tie-dye shirt you want to change because you don't like it, or maybe your ex-girlfriend made it and you don't want to remember that. So first thing I'm gonna do is get some water, add some bleach to it, and then just put the shirts in it, 1, 2, 3, and then stir it up with a hammer, a murder weapon, it doesn't matter. So you let it bleach, destroy the evidence, and let that sit for a little bit. Wow, so white. Then I rinsed it out with water, put in fresh water, and to deneutralize the bleach, just added some hydrogen peroxide, mixed it all up, and they were still kind of like the red and stuck, so I was going to go ahead and try to get that out with some of this right color remover. Mix it on up, and then hypnotize the YouTube viewers, so you will like and subscribe this video. I'm going to go ahead and let that sit for a bit and get the tie-dye all ready, so I break open the package. And it's supposed to come with this like protective reusable surface. It didn't come with it, so I'm just gonna use plastic wrap, Reynolds wrap, and gloves. I probably should have put that on earlier when I was messing with the bleach. Oh well. So yeah, it looked like it's gonna work. So in another bucket, I got some water and some soda ash that helps the tie-dye stick better. And so I'm gonna let those sit for about 20 minutes, bring it back, wring it out, and with that, they're ready to tie-dye. So this shirt, I started spinning it up, and turns out I was struggling. For some reason, I'm like, oh, I need this to be perfect. You'll see later on how many times I spun it up. Eventually, I think I got a little bit better, but really it just didn't really matter. So anyways, spun it up, added a band, got this little, what's that, like a dishwashing something or other? That's going to protect the dyeing process. Oh, and so we got these. We're just going to add in the powdered dye, add in some Stell Liquid Death that was sitting in my studio for a week, mix it on up, shake it, and start applying the dye. I wanted to do like a cute little flower and see how that would turn out when I unspun it. So I did that on one side, and then yeah, like I said, this wire rack thing is gonna protect this bottom side for when I finish, because I'm just gonna flip it over and add it on that way any of the spilling from this side doesn't like get onto the table and onto the bottom of the flower. Cool. The dye did go through the plastic wrap, so clean that up, and now we're ready to unroll it. Whoa, it looks just like a flower. So with that, I wash it and dry it, looking pretty good, and I wanted to spin it up again, but I wanted to spin it the opposite way that I did the dye. So I spun it up, I think that's clockwise, yeah, clockwise, and put a band on it. And now I'm going to take some bleach and put it in a spray bottle with water and just spritz it, then let that sit for, I don't know, I think I let it sit pretty long, but until it's nice and white, unravel it. Then we're going to rinse it out and deneutralize the bleach again, add it some soda ash water, and then re-dye it. With it unspiraled, I just wash and dried it, and it looks good on the back and the front. So we're gonna spin it up again, opposite direction, let it bleach, and unravel it, deneutralize it, wash it, dry it, and spin it up one more time. And this time I forgot to wash it in the soda ash, and so when I washed and dried this one, it didn't stick quite as well. So I thought I'd redo that. So I put it in soda wash water again, let it sit, and spun it up and added the dye. And here we go. Here is the final result. That was a drum roll. A really short drum roll. But yeah, I was pretty stoked with how it turned out. And then washed and dried it. It lined up a lot. And yeah, cool. And back. I can't believe that print stuck, honestly. For the next shirt, I'm going to use some of this old dye and then add some shaving cream, mix it up so I have a little mixture, put some shaving cream on the table, make sure it's nice and covered, then spray that dye shaving cream mix all over and just get Jackson Pollocky, mix it on up, hopefully to get a cool little marbled effect. I've done this with paper before, but I kind of just put the shirt down, made sure it was nice and coated all over the whole thing, and flipped it, did it on the back, cleaned it up, and yeah, I mean, it made a nice little like marbled look. I'm not in love with the shirt, so I thought I'd redo it, so I bleached it again and went through that whole process, and then just put more shaving cream on the bottom. This time I'm not going to use a mixture of like the dye and the shaving cream. This is just straight dye. I feel like that would make a better marbled look, like kind of keep it more liquefied. And honestly, I think it did, and I kind of wish I would have stopped right here. That would have been like the most marbly looking way, but then I just went ham because I was having fun. Pressed the shirt on down, then flipped it. Oh, I added more actually, because I wanted to add more. And I actually like how this one looked. It reminded me of, is it Play-Doh ice cream? Yeah. Pressed that shirt on, and I was using my hands, then I'm like, that's gonna mess up that front of that shirt, so I used paper towel, cleaned it up, and here we go. Yeah, I like how that marbled looked, but again, I'm not super in love with the color or the shirt itself, so I'm like, let's just dye it black. Why not? I have all this extra tie-dye, so I just mixed it all up, added some more color to get it the black tone I wanted, then rubbed it in dirt because something's wrong with me probably, and yeah, that's how it dried, and that's how it looked washed. So then I bleached it again with a little bit of spray, then dyed it again, and here we go. I feel like it almost looks like it did at the very beginning, but now it's like super distressed. But kind of love it. It's going to be super comfy. So for the last shirt, I just like grabbed a clump of it there on the left side and brought it up kind of unevenly. Then I have this sinew, which is just like a thread covered in wax. You can get it anywhere you can get leather supply, leather work and stuff. Wrapped it around, pulled it nice and tight, and did that like an inch up along that whole little arm. We're gonna call that an arm. Cut off the excess. I don't think you need to do that. But then did another arm, little bunched it and tied it on tight. Did another arm, did one more arm, and put rubber bands around that little body, and we have this cute little guy. We're gonna put him in this little container with ice on top of that washing thing and cover it with powdered dye, looking good. Put the ice on top and then put more dye on top, and that idea is as it melts, it's gonna make a cool effect. I can't even remember. It's like a geode effect or something. I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, start untying it, and yeah. So I have a confession to make. I'm in love. It's been a while. You know, they just get me. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time with them, and they can just meet all my needs. They don't try hard, and they just look stunning no matter what. Any questions or doubts that I have, they have the answers. They're there for me 24/7. They've been a huge help for Shmoxd in all my like business endeavors. And you know, they're just so good at what they do. I can't help but recommend that everyone uses them. My mom, my brother, I want all my friends to use her, you know? Huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Guys, I've been with them for forever because they're great. They do get me, you know? And you can get a website up and looking professional in a night. I got the website that I have. Ooh, I recently updated it. But that's the thing is, like, I think I did that in like a day. And because of their templates, no matter what, it's always going to look professional. And because it's customizable, it's going to be on brand to whatever you want. They have an award-winning 24/7 hour question support. And yeah, no matter what you do or what ideas you have, turn them into a reality with Squarespace. You can actually make a website today for free by going to the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/Shmoxd. And remember the coupon code Shmoxd to get 10% off your first purchase. Here's the shirt undone and then washed and dried. Had a lot of like really cool effects. Kind of reminded me of like a universe, I guess. I wonder if I would have like done little spritz of bleach if they look like stars. Oh, so I wanted to try it again with a black shirt, and also found that if I use like a paintbrush or something on that side, I could pull it really tight. And the whole idea was like, I wonder if I would add powdered bleach and Clorox and then ice, and then do like an ice dye with powdered bleach if it would work. So I did that, and I let that melt, and by the time I took it out, it didn't really work. Like right there's the only spot that was kind of bleached. So I'm like, let's try this again, add more ice, and this time I'm just gonna use a liquid bleach. And I actually also sprayed it with my little spray bottle eventually. And well, it looked really cool. The like ice melting thing didn't work, but the geode tie off effect made for a pretty cool bleach shirt. So I feel like I'm turning to my dad. I can't like wear shirts out tucking them in anymore. There we go. But pretty stoked with how these all turned out. Some of them I wish I would have like stopped before I kept on going, except for I do love how comfy this shirt is now. But like this one, I wonder if I would have stopped like after doing it like 2 times, if that would have been how it looked best. But yeah, let me know what you think.
Alright, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah.